I thought I'd escaped her. That pale face, those cracked lips, that jagged smile stretching too wide. I thought leaving that house in rural Pennsylvania would end it. But some things don't let go. Some things follow you, no matter how far you run. My name is Eric, and this is the final chapter of what happened after I left that house. This is the part I wish I could forget. I crashed at my friend Mike's place that night, 45 minutes from the house. My hands were still shaking when I pulled into his driveway. I told him everything, the scratching, the handprint, the face at the window. He laughed it off, said I was stressed, maybe hallucinating from lack of sleep. But his face changed when I showed him the photo I'd taken of the fogged-up window, the small handprint, clear as day. "Eric," he said, his voice low, "you didn't tell me you took this inside the house." I froze. He was right. The photo showed the handprint from the inside of the window, but I'd been alone in that room. That night, I couldn't sleep. Mike's guest room was on the second floor, with the window facing the street. Around 3 a.m., I heard it again. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Slow, deliberate, like nails dragging across glass. I didn't want to look. Every muscle in my body screamed not to. But I had to know. I pulled back the curtain. She was there, standing on the street, under a flickering streetlight. Her head tilted at an unnatural angle, her cracked lips parted in that same jagged smile. Her eyes locked onto mine, unblinking, even as the streetlight buzzed and went out. When it flickered back on, she was gone. The next morning, I found scratches on the outside of Mike's window. Deep, jagged grooves, like something had clawed at the glass. Mike didn't laugh this time. He told me to stay another night, said we'd figure it out together. But I couldn't stay. I couldn't risk her following me, putting him in danger. I checked into a motel an hour away, paid in cash, didn't tell anyone where I was going. I thought if I kept moving, she couldn't find me. I was wrong. That night, I woke to the sound of tapping, not on the window, on the mirror above the motel sink. My reflection stared back, but something was off. My eyes in the mirror weren't blinking when I did. And then, my reflection smiled. That same jagged, too wide smile. I stumbled back, knocking over a lamp. The mirror didn't break, but the tapping grew louder, faster, until it was a deafening rat-tat-tat-tat, shaking the walls. I ran, left everything behind. My bag, my phone, my wallet. I didn't care. I just drove. I ended up in a small diner off the highway at dawn, sipping burnt coffee, trying to make sense of it all. The waitress, an older woman with kind eyes, noticed I was shaking. She sat across from me, asked if I was okay. I don't know why, but I told her everything. She didn't laugh, didn't call me crazy. Instead, she leaned in and whispered, "You saw her, didn't you? The woman in the window?" My blood ran cold. "How do you know that name?" She told me a story. Decades ago, a woman lived in a house near those woods. She was strange, reclusive, always staring out her window at night. One day she vanished. The house burned down, but they never found her body. Locals said she never left, that she became something else. Something that watches, something that follows. "She doesn't just watch," the waitress said, voice trembling. "She claims. If she chooses you, she'll follow you forever. Through windows, mirrors, anything that reflects." I asked how to stop her. The waitress shook her head. "You don't. You run until you can't." That's when I noticed the diner's window. My reflection was there, staring back. But my reflection wasn't holding a coffee cup. and it was smiling. I don't remember leaving the diner. I don't remember how I ended up back on the highway driving until my car ran out of gas. But I do remember the last time I saw her. I was walking along a deserted road, the sun setting behind me. I passed a puddle, its surface still as glass. I shouldn't have looked. Her face stared up at me from the water. Not a reflection, her. Her eyes were black now, her mouth open in a scream that never made a sound. Her hands reached up, breaking the surface, clawing at my ankles. I ran until my lungs burned, until I collapsed in a field miles from anywhere. I haven't seen her since, but every time I pass a window, a mirror, or even a shiny spoon, I hold my breath. Because I know she's still out there, waiting. I don't look at reflections anymore. I avoid windows at night. I don't know if she's gone or if she's just waiting for me to let my guard down. If you ever see a face in a window that shouldn't be there, don't look too long, because once she sees you, she never stops watching.